cool thing about it is that it's pretty interactive. Like if you're just standing there taking photos on your phone to post something on Instagram, you'll probably get a dancing woman coming and starting gyrating on your leg. Hey, it's Robert Morris from the Virginian-Pilot and Pulse, back again to give you a shot of things to do this weekend to get out of the house and entertain yourself. The first thing is a dose of sexiness. The Suicide Girls are going to be at the Norva Saturday night at 8 p.m. If you're not sure who they are a pack of post-millennial pinup girls who celebrate things like tattoos and piercings and day-glow colored hair and all kinds of attitude along with their sexiness, you know. But they do it a little differently. They mix in a lot of pop culture moments from past 10, 15 years, like Star Wars. You know, they'll dance with stormtrooper helmets on their heads. They'll dress up like Uma Thurman and Kill Bill and mess around with a sword. And then they'll just do some of their typical Suicide Girl things, which is, you know, vamp a lot and be cool and look great. Expect to see a lot of hipster guys who like sex appeal. And if you're into burlesque, it's just really cool for that as well. A little different. There's going to be Sunday, 3 p.m. over at the Ted Constant Center by ODU. Jeff Dunham will be there with his troupe of mannequins, ventriloquist dummies, whatever you want to call them. Jeff Dunham's one of those guys, you might not realize how popular this comedian actually is. When he does a special on Comedy Central, it gets the highest ratings out of anything that network does. That's how funny this guy is to people. Another thing Sunday night, if you want to laugh, is comedian Kevin James will be over at Chrysler Hall at, let me check my notes, 7:30 p.m. Kevin James, most people probably know him from King of Queens, that TV show on CBS a few years ago. You know, he's a rotund, funny guy who makes fun of himself all the time, sweats a lot, does a lot of physical comedy. He's also a buddy of Adam Sandler. You see him in movies like Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2, you know, I Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, and he's usually the foil to Adam Sandler where he's making fun of himself and pretty much everything on screen. As you can expect, by looking at the guy, he's going to make fun of his figure, he's going to make fun of him eating, and of him sweating a lot. Speaking of food, Alton Brown will be at the Sandler Center, Virginia Beach, Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. He's one of those guys you might not know by name, but when you see him, you're probably going to know who he is. He has a show called Good Eats where he talks about the taste and nutritional benefits of food and gives you tips on how to do things in your kitchen that'll marvel everyone. He's going to be here as part of his touring show where he does weird things, or fun things maybe, on stage, like saber open a bottle of champagne, or show you how to properly mix liquid nitrogen into your food while you're blending, and all kinds of things that you probably don't do at home but might want to. And again, we're going to end this thing with movies as we always do. We've got two big ones opening this weekend. The biggest is by far Thor, The Dark World. This is the return of Chris Hemsworth as the Norse god of thunder who tries to save his native Asgard as well as Earth and try to get as close to Natalie Portman's character as possible because he is in love with her. I saw this thing the other night with Mel Vincent, and it's a pretty dang good movie. Mel didn't like it. He said it was really stupid, like every superhero movie kind of is, predictable, showy, and all that. But it's kind of fun if you're into action and superheroes. It's also got some of the best costuming I've seen in a while, which sounds really strange, but when you see the way these bad guys look with their masks and their costumes and their capes and all that, you probably will agree. The other film opening is About Time. This is a British romantic comedy with a pretty quirky and unique set piece. The men in a particular family can travel back in time. All they have to do is go in a dark space, bind up their fists, and just think about where they want to go. As you can imagine, this young man in the film uses his power to try to fix his romantic life, which has a fascination with American actress Rachel McAdams. It's a really cute movie. It's done by the guy who did Love Actually, so you know it's going to be funny as well. Mal liked it, but said that honestly, it kind of feels like Groundhog Day with a British accent as it gets repetitious in the time traveling. There's another movie opening, which will be over at the Narrows this weekend and beyond, is All Is Lost. It's kind of a weird film. It's getting praise from the critics. It stars Robert Redford as a sailor who is in the Indian Ocean and finds himself shipwrecked out in the middle of nowhere, no help, no communications, and really no dialogue in the film, which is bizarre. It's just basically him trying to survive the whole time. Mal said that unlike most of the critics in America, he didn't really like it, and he thought it was kind of boring, but he thought that it's kind of interesting in an examination of how someone survives, I guess. So that's what we got. If none of this tripped your trigger, you can always go to hamptonroads.com, check our calendar of events, and find something you want to do, or pick up the latest issue of Pulse, and we've got a bevy of things you can choose from there as well. Take it easy.